Happy birthday, America. I know a lot of us don't particularly feel like celebrating today. I've actually noticed that the last couple of nights, my neighborhood has been very quiet. Typically, there are a lot of fireworks in the days running up to the 4th, and then for a couple of days after, but it has been astoundingly quiet around here. And I know that a number of my mutuals on social media have talked about how they don't feel like celebrating. It feels like a day for grieving. It feels like a day where folks are ashamed of who we are as a nation. Those are completely legitimate feelings, appropriate reactions to have in response to what has happened this week, what has happened since November, to the state of this nation. I know that a lot of us are grieving the loss of what we thought America was, right? What we had been taught since we were little kids about what this nation was, even if we had done a significant measure of work to deconstruct from the imperialism, the colonialism, the patriotism that we've been fed our whole lives. I think a lot of us are still struggling with accepting that this is the country that we have now. This is the erosion of our democracy, the rise of hate, the extent to which the cruelty and inhumanity is being normalized by this regime, and the way our rights are being stripped away. Like, I understand why nobody feels like celebrating today. But I actually have a little bit of a different take. We are a people who fought a war to get free of a tyrant king and secure our own liberty. And if that's what we're celebrating on the 4th of July, we are celebrating our independence. This is our Independence Day. This is where we honor and acknowledge the fact that our foremothers and our forefathers said that we all deserve life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and that we should fight to defend those rights. I think that is still a vision for this nation. That is still a belief. That is still an outlook that we should be celebrating. That is still something worth fighting for and worth cherishing. And when I was posting about this on Blue Sky in the wee hours of the morning, one of my mutuals commented that she was rereading the Declaration of Independence, and just how many parts of it ring so true, speak into the experience of the American people today in 2025, almost 250 years after our predecessors fought for us to get free of a tyrant king. And I thought that is a really good piece of advice. So I sat down this afternoon and I reread through the Declaration of Independence. And there were a few key passages that really stood out at me, and I want to share them with you now. When, in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their state of happiness. Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light or transient causes. And accordingly, all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present king of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. So from this list of facts, the 13 colonies list in the Declaration of Independence as their reasoning, their justification, their obligation to break from the tyranny of the British Crown, several seem incredibly appropriate in 2025 America. And I would like to share those selected facts from the Declaration with you now. He has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. He has endeavored to prevent the population of these states, for that purpose obstructing the laws of naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage their migrations hither, and raising the conditions of new appropriation of lands. He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers. He has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount of payment of their salaries. This next one. He has erected a multitude of new offices and sent hither swarms of officers to harass our people and eat out their substance. For the next one, you need only look to California and Texas and now Florida, as well as the massive funding of ICE that is in the new budget bill. He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislatures. He has affected to render the military independent of and superior to civil power. He has combined with others to subject us to a jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and unacknowledged by our laws, for cutting off our trade with all parts of the world, for depriving us, in many cases, of the benefits of trial by jury, for transporting us beyond the seas to be tried for pretend offenses. I can't stop thinking about those folks who have been sent to South Sudan and how SCOTUS has paved the way for more people to be sent there. For taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our governments. He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us. With regards to selling off federal land, logging our federal forests, repealing environmental legislation, he has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burnt our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people. Let's add to that the refusal to give communities assistance in the wake of natural disasters and the attempt to dismantle FEMA. This next section reminds me very much of what is happening with ICE, the American Gestapo. He is at this time transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the works of death, desolation, and tyranny, already begun with the circumstances of cruelty and perfidy scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous ages and totally unworthy of the head of a civilized nation. I don't know about you, but Alligator Auschwitz, to me, is the cruelty and perfidy scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous ages. We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these United States colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states. That they are absolved from any allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Happy birthday, America. We got free of a tyrant once, and we can do it again. We all have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We are the people who got free of a tyrant king. We founded this nation on freedom from tyranny. On our birthday, I think it's a good time to remember our roots, what we have done and what we are capable of doing, yet again.